My plan today was to come out and zero two of my carbines that I have, but I woke up this morning, I had everything packed up last night, went to load up the Jeep, and it was 7 degrees outside. 7. Single digits. So I said, okay, well, and my table that I was going to use has like flowers and vases and stuff on it. So I don't have like a table to sit on. To be honest with you guys, it's just too cold to like sit still. But I had already loaded up about 6 magazines. And the other thing I wanted to try out, I just got this Vortex 3x magnifier here that sits behind the red dot, and it folds out of the way. So you can fold it out of the way. Now I've had one like this before. It was an EOTech, but it was really heavy. This one actually is under 10 ounces. I think it's about 9.5 ounces with the base. I weighed it last night. So I'm gonna try this out. Just gonna do some shooting. Interesting build I did here for Christmas. I had some parts laying around, so I built this. What you're basically looking at here is a BCM upper, 14.5 with a dead air flash hider pinned and welded, so it's 16 inches overall length. On the lower, I've got Wilson Combat. I was able to get a Wilson Combat. It was just like laying there kind of off to the side. I got this a while ago. And then I found a Wilson Combat grip. So Wilson Combat lower grip. The lower parts kit is actually one of the Geisley kits. Pretty cool. The safety has got the little dog leg on it. And I've got a Geisley trigger in here. Got one of my Trijicon red dots on. Like I said, the Vortex 3x magnifier on the back. I've got a Noveski super badass charging handle in here, which I think that's actually made by Geisley, just stamped by Noveski. But so Noveski charging handle. And what else? Oh, I had to steal my bolt carrier group from another gun. This is a Landtac bolt carrier group. I've got a PWS buffer tube. It's their enhanced buffer tube. It's pretty cool. It's got these grooves in it. But the coolest thing about this is it's got a ratcheting castle nut. So it ratchets in there and you don't have to stake it or go crazy with it. It's got this little pin that kind of ratchets on there. And then a Viltor stock. Now, with this new magnifier, I was looking last night and it actually doesn't have a whole lot of eye relief. So I'm gonna have to run my buffer a little bit shorter. Let's try, I'll put the suppressor on. All right, we are clean and clear. So I've got the dead air flash hider on here, which I like. And then this can here is the dead air Sandman K, the shortest of the K series. So it slides straight on, ratchets in place. That's it. Another 20 rounds of the PMC green tips. So nice on a cold day like this, when you take your suppressor off, it acts as a hand warmer. I was just over there holding it. It's still, my gloves are still warm. It acts as a hand warmer. Normally it'd be, well, I've melted these gloves already. I don't know if you can see the shiny spot on these 2 fingers. But I've melted these taking a suppressor off. Oh, I think I was just checking it. These are just regular fast fit mechanics gloves in multicam. I've had Oakley's, I've had all kinds of fancy gloves through the years. I tell you what, just getting a set of mechanics fast fit. They're actually kind of like thicker, a little padding on the back, these particular fast fits. Very right off the bat, there's like no breaking in period, like able to manipulate the trigger, the safety and all that. These are pretty good. And for the price, I think these might be some really good options. Like you can get a couple sets. You rip one, tear one, throw it away, use the next set. All right, we're gonna go unsuppressed. This trigger is pretty good. It's a flat-faced, can you see it? Flat-faced Geisley trigger. I started to become a big fan of the flat-faced triggers. I actually brought out a pistol that I haven't shot yet, and I've had this pistol well over a year. But speaking of that, you see that? This is the SIG P320 X carry, and it's got that flat trigger in there. So I was gonna give this guy a little roll today to see how, too many jackets, I can't find my holster. See how that was gonna go, but with the size of my big fat hands, the flat triggers, they feel good. Ooh, it's getting cold. I'm gonna be moving on. Like I said, I wanted to do some zeroing on that rifle and this rifle today with my 3x magnifier. It's too cold, too windy, but I figured I'd shoot a little bit. So this is my defensive carbine here. This is the one that I have a nice kind of incog, it's actually called the incog bag from Haley Strategic. It's just gray. It just looks like a regular bag. It goes everywhere with me. I've got a micro chest rig that fits inside the bag, and I've got a Glock. It's like a ready to go bag. And this is my defensive gun. It's got a Surefire Scout on it, one of the older ones that I had. It's got it's a pistol. It's a pistol because that makes it far less dangerous than a rifle. And then I've got I got a Troy backup sight on the back. I've got the fixed Daniel Defense front. Like I said, the upper's Daniel Defense Mark 18. The lower is something I put together. It's got a BCM grip. It's got a flat face Geisley trigger and just basic parts. Got the Daniel Defense bolt carrier as well. And then this is the only aim point that I own. I bought it 5-10 years ago. It's a H1, so it means it's the first series, not night vision compatible. So it's the cheapest one I could get, and it's still like my best optic, but they're so expensive. So let's give this a whirl. You guys, the wind is blowing pretty strong, and I don't think this mic does very good in the wind, so I apologize if this video sucks with the audio, but I'm not prepared. It's too dang cold to do anything. So I've got the dead air flash hider on here because that's the type of mount I like for my suppressor. So here's an interesting thing. This is a Silencer Co. Omega 300. It's a great can. I love this. It's a 30 cal can. Both this one and that Sandman K are 30 cal cans. I'm using them on 5.56, and both of these cans run awesome with my 300 blackout. This is quite a beast. I really like this can here. But what I've done is I've put on the dead air mount. I've taken off the Silencer Co mount, which I don't like, and I've put on the dead air, what they call the chemo mount. So again, what you do is you got to find the initial groove to where it slides in like that. So it's going to slide into there all the way down, and that's it. It ratchets on. I really like this mount. Seems to work pretty good. So 10.3 inch gun, about a 6-inch suppressor. I think it still looks good. Weight wise, it's really well balanced. Now you're going to see a difference now I'm adding more back pressure. This gun I actually tuned for suppression. It's got a very heavy, like 6.8 ounce buffer in here, which is about like an H4 or an H5 if you're counting on the H scale of buffer weights. because Daniel Defenses are traditionally really overgassed. They have a large gas port on here and it's pretty violent. So with this heavier buffer, I tuned it with the buffer and the buffer spring to slow down the bolt carrier group, which helps out in regular shooting and really helps out while being suppressed. All right, here we go. A lot quieter. Tames the recoil too. So I was, woo-hoo-hoo, smoke it. So this is the 21 round mag from SIG, the military mags out of my M17, M18 series. And this says loaded to 20 rounds. .21 rounder loaded to 20 rounds. There's some orange clay pigeons about 50 yards out there. I'm trying to hit them. Low, 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 high. I'm digging a hole like an inch below it. Come on, man. Sometimes you got to go for it. Ah, there we go. Two out of 20 ain't bad. It was a little broken orange clay pigeon at 50 yards on the ground. Yeah, 2 out of 20. I'm not very good at math, so I'd say that's 90% accuracy. So I put on my little short Sandman K can from Dead Air on this on the Mark 18. We'll see if how this bad boy handles it. That Omega 300 from Silencer Co., even with it being below freezing out here, it still was pretty warm to the touch. I heated that up pretty good just from that one magazine. So, all right, here we go. Hopefully I don't break the camera with the ejecting brass. So right off the bat, you can hear it. It's a lot more bassy. Like I feel that bass, but it's knocking down. It's doing what I want it to do, suppression-wise, right? Suppression-wise, it's doing its job, but it's got a different tone to it. Little short can. Remember, on this is a perfect example of a gun that doesn't suppress good, all right? Number one, supersonic ammo, 3,000 feet per second. You got to be down around 1,000 feet per second, right? Supersonic ammo. Number two, semi-automatic. You're getting 145 to 147 decibels out of here. All right. The can is trying to knock it down below 140 at the muzzle. Right here. So don't be confused by what suppressors do. But if you look at this setup here, if you had this setup, if you go out and you got your AR that you love, you got a can like this that's short, sweet, you'll never want to shoot without it. Yeah, it sounds so meaty, so beefy. I love it. These are actually the Federal green tips because this came out of my loadout bag. I'm amazed by this little guy here. The Sandman series of suppressors. So this is still warm, but to take it off, that's it. Chemo, this is hot. It's still warm, but it's acting as a hand warmer right now, as long as it doesn't burn my gloves. Look at this little guy. It's awesome, right? Short, sweet, and to the point. You're not going to make this thing Hollywood quiet, especially this Mark 18. This is a 10.3 inch 5.56. I'm dumping a bunch of unburnt powder into this suppressor. This cartridge was designed for like 18 or 20 inch guns originally. So if you can tame it with something small and lighter weight than having to put this giant, can on there, this is what you want. Why have an SBR or a short pistol and have to put on this giant suppressor to tame it? I shot that 7.5 inch AR without my hearing protection on with this. I shot it a couple times, and then my buddy from the gun shop, he wasn't wearing his hearing protection. He goes, "Hey, try it." I took it off and I shot. I'm like, oh my God. It was borderline, but wow. No way you'd want to pop off that gun without hearing protection or a suppressor. It's that loud, like fireballs coming out of it. But this little sucker tamed it, man. So, like I said, I just like to pass on because a lot of people, I don't hear a lot of people talking about dead air. Talking about Gemtech and Silencer Co. and all these Q, all these other companies, SIG, but dead air, they got some solid products, and so far I'm really pleased with the ones that I got. All right, that's it. I'm freezing. There's wind. I didn't do what I meant to do, but I came out and had some fun. I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for watching.